A friend of mine asked if I could update her kitchen cabinets and give them a unique look. I had the perfect technique in mind. I began by cleaning all of the cabinet fronts and sides using TSP and hot water. I wore rubber gloves since this really cuts the grease. One of the most important steps is to label each door before you remove it. I used painter's tape and used corresponding numbers and letters for each door. I removed all of the doors, placing the hinges into bags that were labeled to the corresponding cabinets. After taking off the doors, I placed them in the garage on pieces of scrap wood. This would allow the air to circulate underneath the doors as they dried. Under the wood, I also placed drop cloths to protect the floor. I filled in the knob holes using wood filler because I was adding new hardware to the drawer fronts. Once the wood filler was dry, I sanded it smooth. By using a quality primer, I didn't have to sand the entire cabinet before I painted. I used a 1/3 inch nap roller to apply the primer and a brush to prime in any grooves. I began priming the backs of the doors, allowing them to dry for 12 hours, and then primed the fronts. As the door fronts were drying, it was time to prime the cabinets. I began by taping off along the walls and the floors using painter's tape. I applied the primer using the same 1/3 inch nap roller and brush. The priming took a total of 2 days to finish the doors and the cabinets due to drying time. Once the primer was dry, it was time to paint. I used Valspar enamel made specifically for cabinets. By using this paint, I wouldn't have to seal the cabinets after I painted because the paint is enamel. I used the 1/3 inch nap roller and brush to apply the paint to the doors and the cabinets. Following the manufacturer's directions, I allowed the paint to dry for 48 hours. Then I applied a second coat. Once the second coat of paint was dry, it was time to distress the doors. Using fine grit sandpaper, I removed the paint from the corners and the edges of all the door fronts. Then I mixed water and white paint at a 3:1 ratio and stirred it well. I applied the paint-water mixture with a brush and removed it with a soft cloth. To add the new cabinet hardware, I used a tool made by Craig Jig to find the center of the drawer and drilled for the new poles, which I attached to the drawer front. To reattach the drawer fronts, I simply re-screwed them into the drawer. I had sprayed the hinges of the doors to match the new knobs, which I reattached to the doors and then rehung the doors to the correct cabinet. While the oak was nice, it was outdated. Now the kitchen is much brighter and looks brand new. With the new knobs and drawer pulls and the distressing technique, the homeowner can't wait to show her updated kitchen to family and friends. I hope this inspires you to update your kitchen today.